The Mario Kart series is one of the most influential in all of gaming history. They essentially invented the chaotic party-style racing game, improving on it with each new entry. And while the sales numbers speak for themselves, there's another surefire way to tell that you made a winning formula: copycats. Nearly every company with a copyrighted character is more than willing to throw them into a kart racer. Other game series jumped at the chance to capitalize on Mario Kart's success, and most of them do it pretty gracefully. Many will come up with their own mechanics or put a quite unique spin on the formula so that it's not just Mario Kart, but different. But then others... that'll be $59.99. The dreaded licensed game, throwing characters into a game with no real care and just shipping it out. I mean, hey, it has the word kart and Sponge Banglabob on it, it's gotta do well, right? Today's video is sponsored by Opera GX. No one wants to be boring, so why are you over there still using that boring old web browser? I'm pleased to tell you all about Opera GX. Modern browsers are absolute performance hogs, but with Opera GX, you can take control of your resources and enhance your PC's performance. By popping open the GX control panel, you can raise or lower the amount of CPU or RAM the browser uses, freeing up resources for the rest of your PC to use. And remember the days of gaming magazines? GX Corner takes that concept and tosses it right onto your browser, showing you news, upcoming game releases, and games like Genshin Impact or Beat Poser Pro. And with GX mods, you can make this browser truly your own. You can check out the GX store to browse all kinds of pre-made themes, or you can customize your own by choosing colors, background music, and even keyboard sounds. So make sure you click that link down below and download Opera GX today. Hello Kitty Cruisers was a game released for smartphones in January of 2014, and just a few months later in March, had a console release for the Wii U. You can kinda tell the game was primarily a mobile game that they decided last minute to also throw on Wii U, because it had one of the smallest physical releases that you've ever seen. In fact, the physical prints were in such low supply that this game for a while became one of the holy grails for Wii U collectors, sometimes being bought for well over $200. The scarcity created some crazy news articles, and word of mouth spread about this randomly rare Hello Kitty game, and this caused the developers to jump at the opportunity. Hello Kitty Cruisers with Sanrio Friends released for the Switch in April 2018 in Europe and May 2018 in North America. But I think the developers missed the whole point of why this game was notable. Now, Hello Kitty is no stranger to licensed games. The IP is so popular all over the world that it would be a waste to not try. But honestly, they just shouldn't have tried. When I say this game is bland, I feel bad for the word bland. This gameplay is so slow and controls so poorly, I'm convinced that my controller is broken half the time. When you run through an item box, they didn't even bother pretending to have a little item roulette. A PNG of the item just appears in the corner. And you can really tell that this was a mobile game that they didn't improve graphically at all. I'm not even playing the game on my phone, this is just a YouTube video of the Switch version. The game has 3 basic modes. Quick Race has you jump into a race on any given track. Tournament is their version of Grand Prix mode, playing 4 races in a tour to earn the most points, and Adventure mode, which consists of a bunch of missions, which is the main way to unlock different karts. But there was zero creativity or extra effort put into Adventure mode. There are only 3 mission types. You either complete a time trial, collect cupcakes or apples or whatever, or race through all the rings. Not to brag, but it took me only 30 minutes to get through every single mission. Like, the amount of gameplay this game has is bad even by mobile game standards. For some reason, this game took inspiration from Diddy Kong Racing and gave 3 different types of vehicles: karts, planes, and boats. But it makes the same mistake that many games that offer different vehicles do. They're just kinda pointless. Diddy Kong Racing actually does something with the different vehicles, offering different mechanics and routes depending on your vehicle choice. In Hello Kitty, they do nothing outside of offer controls but I can go up and down, offer controls but the controls are even shittier. This genuinely feels like they were assigned this game 6 months ago and left it for the week before and just threw something together. The quality control is so bad, the AI at points is so stupid that nearly every other racer will get stuck on a wall and just never make any more progress for the rest of the race. And if you know what those AI are going through, that's impressive, because you do not want to touch walls in this game. You touch a wall and you're transported inside of a black hole to live out the rest of your days as string cheese. It feels like re-releasing this on the Switch was just a total misunderstanding of why people were buying this game on the Wii U. It wasn't the crazy gameplay people were having a blast with. It was just a collector's item, something rare people could brag about owning while it sits in the plastic wrap to literally never be played. Warped Kart Racers is another Mario Kart clone released for mobile devices, but dare I say, this one is actually kinda good. It features a crossover of 4 different Fox television brands: Family Guy, American Dad, King of the Hill, and Solar Opposites. It was released exclusively as a part of the Apple Arcade subscription service, so it has a bit higher of a quality standard than your average mobile game. The game doesn't even try to hide that it's a Mario Kart clone. It literally uses tortoise and clamshells for some of the items. I mean, it's really in your face. But if you consider the source material, most of the shows from this crossover are known for their use of parody, so I would expect nothing less than parodying Mario Kart in their literal Mario Kart clone game. Genuinely, I'm shocked at how good of a game this is, both as a Mario Kart game and a mobile game, especially after playing. It's a little surreal to be controlling a kart racer and having it feel both fluid and responsive, especially when you'd primarily play this on a touchscreen. But after a cup or two, I completely ignored that because I found out you can just play this game with a controller. Touch controls are generally inferior, so if the touch controls feel good, you know the standard controls will too. Frankly, if this game was released as a small console game, I'd probably pick it up knowing I'd have a good time. It kinda sucks it's stuck on a subscription service that's only found on iPhones. Warped Kart Racers really excels in character dialogue. Everyone has such silly little things to say, their dances and reactions, it just makes it feel more like you are actually playing as these characters. What adds to this are the fun references in the kart parts, and the maps are great representations of the worlds that these characters are from, even if the tracks themselves are a little basic. But I guess I can give them a pass for that, it's a phone game, so they can't be too complex. The campaign for the game has you go through their equivalent of Mario Kart CCs, but they further divide it into 4 missions for each property, allowing you to unlock racers and kart parts that come from that respective series. There are standard races, but there's also a battle mode similar to Mario Kart's. And it has a multiplayer mode that actually has regular seasons with new content introduced. The only problem is you'll probably be playing against the same 5 other people who actively play this game online. Being a mobile game, you'd expect this to shove the microtransactions down your throat, but as a part of the Apple Arcade subscription service, this isn't the case. Apple Arcade goes against your typical mobile game setup. There are no ads and no microtransactions. Because of this, the gameplay and the gameplay loop feel a bit higher quality than some other mobile kart racers. You just get to play. You don't have to worry about not doing well in a certain challenge because you didn't spend real life money on a racer that's only available for 3 to 5 business days. Those types of games really build the gameplay around the microtransactions, while Warped Kart just kind of feels like they wanted to make a fun game. Truly, my only complaint with this game was the touch controls, and even then they were pretty good. And being able to use a PS5 controller just made my only complaint go away. Okay, but now it's time to stop playing a good game and start playing a great game. Garfield Kart. Garfield Kart was released for 3DS, smartphones, and PC back in 2013. What's the difference, you may ask? Absolutely nothing. I guess the 3DS version does have that second screen, but outside of that, these games are all the exact same game that play the exact same way. 6 years later, and I guess the developers found a way to squeeze just a little more out of perfection, because Garfield Kart Furious Racing was released for PC and modern consoles in November 2019. And they knew they made perfection because this game is literally just a remake of the original with prettier graphics. It has the same courses and racers as the original. You can play as Garfield, or John, or Odie, or this cat that eats garbage. And you can race in iconic locales such as the park, the city, and, Egypt. The game does use items in sort of a cool way. The Y and B buttons both handle items, with the Y button throwing them forward and the B button backward. But sometimes these items won't be thrown, they'll instead be used by your racer. With the spring item, for instance, you can throw it backwards and essentially use it as a banana peel from Mario Kart. But if you use the forward button, it will instead give you a hop that you can use to avoid items, grab collectibles, or access shortcuts. But you know, playing it, I think maybe I changed my mind. This game is just sort of a forgettable clone. It's not horribly offensive to play, but it's just really not that great of a time either. FBI, open up! I would like to formally apologize for my previous statements. I've seen the error of my ways completely of my own free will, and I just want to state for the record that Garfield Kart is one of the greatest works of art that all of humanity has ever created. With all of the properties that Disney owns, it's no surprise that they throw them at any and every game opportunity they can. and the kart racer is no exception. Disney Speedstorm is a free-to-play kart racer featuring dozens of Disney characters. Basically, if you've seen them in Kingdom Hearts, there's a strong chance that they're already in this game or will show up later on, because a huge feature of this game is season passes. To no one's surprise, being free-to-play and being made by Disney, the game is rife with microtransactions. You can purchase characters, carts, and skins along with a loot box mechanic. I haven't dived too deep into the character comparisons, so I have no idea if this game ultimately becomes pay to win. But it's a Disney game, so it wouldn't surprise me. Ideally, it would operate like Fortnite, where your character, cart, skin all really don't matter that much, and your ability in the game is more important. But that doesn't seem to be the case because this game actually has kind of an intricate system. Each core driver falls into a different category of either speedster, trickster, brawler, or defender. These categories affect the character's stats, but it also impacts the items that they can pick up from the item boxes. Crew members can also be unlocked, which provide additional bonuses to an item's effectiveness. So there's a little more strategy involved here than your standard Mario Kart clone. Figuring out which crew members work well with a certain racer's item pool is pretty key. The atmosphere is also great, and again I'm reminded of Kingdom Hearts with the variety of tracks and how many different series are represented. I personally have always loved the old school Disney cartoons, so I was happy to see the black and white stage representing that era. Nearly every track has multiple routes that you can take, which is something I feel other games, even Mario Kart, don't really utilize as much as they could. Gameplay-wise, there's nothing horrible here. The game is incredibly focused on your boost ability, which is always shown using the bar at the top. Things like drifting, doing tricks, or riding on these weird anti-gravity rails let you build up your boost meter, and when it's full, you can activate it. As a free-to-play game, I'd say this is absolutely worth checking out, but be prepared for sensory overload and microtransactions everywhere you look when you're in the actual menus. Another company that is no stranger to licensing out their characters is Nickelodeon. Platform fighters, 3D platformers, even crossovers and collaborations in other games. But in the last 5 years, the world was introduced to Nickelodeon Kart Racers, a game so nice they made it twice. And then one more time. This series isn't their first time making Mario Kart clones. They've made a few in the past, but these three together are something special. They really tell a story. 2018 saw the release of Nickelodeon Kart Racers 1, but it barely qualifies as a crossover. Only 4 different Nickelodeon series are present here, with only 12 racers, and 25% of those are Ninja Turtles, who are cool, but also effectively look like the same character. Also, the game looks horrifying. What did they do to Spring Dangle-a-Dog?
Oh my goodness!
But actually racing in the game is okay. It's not amazing, but we've covered far worse just in this video. Slime also plays an interesting role in this game, where you'll have sections of slime on the track. When you ride through these slime sections, your slime meter grows, cut into 3 parts, and you can use this slime to activate a small boost. It works alright, but again it's not really something that's exciting. The coolest part is that there are whole slime river sections, and your character's vehicle will turn into a boat, which is a rare time when the transformation into a boat actually makes sense and it doesn't feel like they did it just because they can. I don't think I can overstate how painfully average this game felt. I wasn't having a blast, I don't think I'd even say I was having fun, but I did get permanent retina damage from the neon green of this load screen. And I guess that's exactly what the doctor ordered, because this game sold well enough for them to order a sequel, Nickelodeon Kart Racers 2 Grand Prix. This game had a huge overhaul where they basically completely reworked the entire game. They more than doubled the character roster up to 30 playable characters from 12 different Nickelodeon shows and JoJo's Siwa for some reason. First, the physics have been reworked, which makes driving feel a lot nicer. The slime meter still exists in this game, but instead of being tied to a simple boost mechanic, the game now implements a pit crew sort of system, with a primary chief and 2 minor crew members. The primary chief offers an ability that can be activated when your slime meter is at maximum, while the minor crew members have a periodic, less impactful effect that occurs on a cooldown. I actually really like the way this works. It offers a great level of strategy, and it does it in a more in-depth way than Disney Speedstorm. Rather than just improving the effectiveness of certain items, you actually gain different effects, like gaining an instant boost if you get hit by an item, or earning a bonus item from an item box. It lets you prioritize your style of play, but it isn't overpowered either because each effect can only be activated once the cooldown is finished. But man, this game still has its problems, and the worst part is I want to like it. The track and character variety, the music, the crew mechanic. This is genuinely a game I could find myself enjoying and playing regularly, but it just runs so badly. Some tracks you'll have a buttery smooth experience, but then others you'll hit sections that dip you down into your grandfather's childhood slide projector. But somehow, despite all of this, a third entry was made as well. And this one solves the biggest problem that everybody had. It finally adds voice acting. Yeah, the first 2 games had absolutely zero voice acting, making the games feel completely silent and empty. I guess this is just standard practice for Nickelodeon games, because another particular game, also featuring Nickelodeon characters, had this exact same problem. This game sports 40 different characters from 19 Nicktoons and 90 crew characters, tons of new and returning tracks, and it's their 3rd game in the series. So with all of these improvements, it's gotta be good, right? I don't know how, after 3 games, this is the worst that the series has run. This version of the game doesn't even feel like it was made for Switch like the others. It genuinely feels like a quick and dirty port of the PlayStation or Xbox versions. Maybe it runs well on those, but when your whole shtick is Mario Kart but different, you'd think you'd want to put up some kind of fighting chance on the console that literally has Mario Kart on it. Nope, that's it. After 3 tries, I'm done. Nickelodeon, I gave you a solid chance, but you've brought me to my wit's end, and now I'm gonna do the unthinkable.